Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the weekly update for the Nasdaq 100 today from the 9th of March 25. And yes, exactly the trend line which I was talking about in my last update gave the price support. And I'm going to zoom in here in a second. So you can see that directly a touch at the break line, at the trend line, provided that support I was talking about. Okay, the question is at the moment, because I do think that the C wave, or let me just go out again, that our WXY structure I was talking about is either completed or we have one more high and one more low. That is a discussion on the smaller time frame. I'm zooming in a second, and the Y wave of this WXY structure needs to be an ABC structure. In my view, the A wave finished on the 29th or 28th of February. This is that part. And from there we have our little B wave. And the C wave in itself now, because it's a WXY structure, we need the Y wave in 3 waves, is a so-called any-diagonal pattern. And the question now is this done here? Okay, this is now a question we have to talk about, and I think this is very relevant because these diagonal patterns, they are very hard to predict when the end is in. Okay, so when the low is formed here, and you know from my last videos that I have defined a so-called support area here in the chart, which is between the 50% and the 61.8 at 20,184 and 19,647. And I told you that this is deep support or strong support for the price, and we are reversing out of it. Okay, the question is now, is this a sustainable low here, or do we have to do one more high and one more low? So if this diagonal pattern continues, we need again a lower high and a lower low. Okay, so the BOS in this part needs to continue. So for those of you who don't know what BOS is, it's break of structure, for example. It's called whenever you are printing lower highs continued by also higher lower lows. That means the continuation to the downside is still there. As long as we are not getting a change of character by printing higher highs again, for example, if we break above that green line, is still at least short-term lower prices predicted. Okay, and that's why I'm going to zoom in on the hourly chart now, and it could take a little bit because I have not that best internet because I'm traveling right now, so I'm using at the moment the mobile hotspot, and excuse me for the time that it's loading, but yeah, so I predicted the last time that we possibly are still in the third wave, because the diagonal pattern also consists of 5 waves, but all are corrective structure. That means all moves in itself, or all subwaves, are 3-wave moves. Okay, and in my view, we have definitely done the first wave here in an ABC structure. Then we have an ABC for wave 2, and then an ABC for wave 3. And now we should get another ABC structure. The question is now, because I can also, and this is very important, I can also put the 3 possibly here. That was the 4, and the 5 already is done. Okay, this has to be determined, and then there comes in play a break above that green line, because as soon as we're printing now higher highs again, that would mean a break above 20,729, would indicate that possibly this diagonal pattern to the downside is done. Okay, I could also, as I said before, I could also say, for example, that our wave 3 bottomed here. But I like the idea more that we have one more high and one more low. So that would mean an ABC structure for wave 4 and another ABC structure for wave 5. I cannot rule out that this diagonal pattern has finished and this is already the low. I cannot rule that out. So that's why we have to observe now a break above that green line. And the break above that green line would indicate that this diagonal pattern has finished or is done. Okay, and that's now the scenario which I was talking about also the last video updates, that The question is now, in which scenario are we? If we are, or if we consider this being the low because the trend line held, if we consider this being the low right now, let me just draw that a little bit more accurate. Yep. So when we consider this low is in place here, okay? So this is a low of sort at the moment. We have two possibilities from that, or in that scenario now. We have either the yellow scenario, which consists of an ABC structure to the upside in 3 waves, very important, in 3 waves, followed by another sell-off in the C wave. I have no crystal ball right now, and I cannot tell you which of the two scenarios are rolling out, are playing out. But or for those who watch my videos, I still think that the chart would look better with one more high, okay, and that would be an impulse to the upside in the C of -5. So because, and I can zoom out in a second because I want to go through something different, because I want to also look at the more bearish scenario with you, but this is not on the table until and I said this for the last weeks, until we break the 61.8 at 19,647. So a break below that 61.8 FIP retracement level here would indicate more downside. But we are not there yet, okay? And I don't think that it's, I mean, we have to have it on our head and we have to know what possibly could happen. But as long as the support is holding, there's no need to flip bearish right now, okay? And I did say that I expect a bounce here out of this area, out of my support area. The question is, as I said, now we have to observe the chart. If we are building this impulse in white, or we only get now 3 waves up. And that's very important. And this move up to the upside now, this counter trend rally, will show us a little bit more, okay? So first scenario is that possibly one more low in this diagonal pattern. I cannot rule that out. Scenario 2 is that we already bottomed here and we project, or we are building 3 waves up, followed by another impulse to the downside in the C, because the C wave in this scenario would definitely be an impulse, and it needs to be a very strong impulse because the C wave would release a lot of selling pressure here, okay? Because when we don't get above this mentioned target areas here between 21,059 and 21,363, it's more or less likely that it's just a B wave I was talking about here in yellow, because the price needs to thrust higher from here, okay, if we are in the white scenario. And only a break above 21,363 would indicate that the white scenario is going on. Okay, and I'm going to make another target box here. Oops. Sorry, the internet is very slowly here. So that would be the target box for our B wave scenario in yellow. And in the white scenario, we should take that out. We should really go through that, okay? Very, very strong. And also, please understand that I have put now 5 waves in white here. Please understand that each of these subwaves in an impulse, the first wave needs to be 5 waves, then followed by a 3-wave correction, another impulse to the upside in 5 waves, another 3-wave pullback, and another 5 waves to the upside. So each of these waves, waves 1, 3, and 5, are impulsive waves in the white scenario. 2 and 4 are pullbacks in corrective nature. And then we have to really observe that what is playing out at the moment, okay? And we can see, I don't expect a flat in the yellow scenario. I don't expect a flat. So it should be a quick ABC pattern to the upside, hold these levels, and then sell off from here. That is the scenario I'm watching in the yellow scenario. And the white first wave here, followed by, like, if impulse to the upside in 5 waves forms the wave 1, that definitely should already take out this resistance area. So, and from there we have to observe it, okay? And I think this area is a very, very pivot decision area where we're going to see what's going on. And so in my view, it should be a zigzag to the upside, very quick ABC in the yellow, and then followed by a strong sell-off. In the white scenario, I do, first of all, in the first wave, directly push to the upside with a lot of volume, with a lot of buying power, and so on, okay? And that's, at the moment, the scenario I have to watch, or the both scenarios I have to watch. And when we are here in this area, I would be definitely very cautious. I mean, I cannot tell you how to trade, but the potential is still there that we're going to sell off out of this area. It's very, very high potential that this correction is still not done, and that would suggest that we are already going to go on the daily chart now, that we're already in my primary wave 4 pullback. Okay, in the yellow. This is the yellow 3 here, on which would finish the last leg up, would finish primary wave 3, possibly, and that's what I say, why I say it, it could be already done on the tops. Okay, so that could be finished here. And if this is already the primary wave 4 pullback, it needs to be an ABC structure. And now I go back in, and this then, in my view, okay, would only complete the A wave. Then we should get another B wave and another C wave to come. And that is the way I'm watching for the more bearish scenario. That would be the more bearish scenario, okay? So this pullback now, which we have started from the highs here in the more bearish scenario from the 16th of December, would be just starting the A wave, okay? In a WXY structure. So that means W, X, Y for wave A, where the Y wave is this wave move, we should get this B wave and another C wave to come. And then this would only finish wave A, guys. And then we have another B wave and another C wave. This is the most bearish scenario I'm talking about now. But you know me, until we don't invalidate that scenario to the upside in the last impulse of C or 5, I'm not really there to change that right now. Okay, I just want to bring it on the chart so that we know a break below 19,647 would indicate that we are possibly in this primary wave 4 pullback. Yeah, and now I zoom in out again. So from our intermediate wave 4 low here, which is labeled here in green, and not in green, in blue, I'm expecting this whole thing in the intermediate wave 5 of primary wave 3 is a diagonal pattern. Okay, that means all subwaves are 3s, and I can show you what I mean here. We have minor wave 1 because if we talk about this intermediate degree, we have 5 waves of minor degree, which are labeled here in orange. Wave 1 done in an ABC structure, wave 2 done in an ABC structure, or WXY in this case, wave 3 done in 3 waves, wave 4 in 3 waves, and now the 5th wave. It could be done, and if you look in the chart right now, it could be done that this is already the ABC, and it could all be done here. But that would then suggest that we are already in this bigger primary degree for a 4th wave pullback. At the moment, not clear. That's why I bring all scenarios on the chart. And the question is here really, do we hold the 61.8? And the break below the 61.8 FIB retracement level would indicate more downside is open, okay? So that means this would only be then wave A. Or let me just label that, okay, so that we know that we have the scenario on the chart and we know, or we can prepare for ourselves what's going on. So that would be wave A, then we get another B and another C. I'm going to put that now on the minute degree. And this would be the root, okay? So if we consider being in the yellow scenario, that would be our A wave down, as I mentioned before, B wave up, and the C wave to come. And that would then look for the primary 4th wave correction. It's not really clear right now, and I have to tell you this, but please keep in mind, if we only get our B wave, which I was talking about in 3 waves, the potential is very high that we have a bigger correction going on. As long as we hold the 61.8 FIB retracement here at 19,647, it could be that the low is in and we go up to the upside in 5 waves to finish the higher degrees up here, okay? So that's really the scenario we have to watch, and I can only encourage you here to really watch this pivot area. This is very, very important, okay? If you see selling coming in here, very strong selling, then we could be sure that we're already in the yellow C wave down. And in the white scenario, I need a break above 21,363. That indicates something strong to the upside is going on in the C wave, and then very important, holding a higher low. Okay, so wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and so on. That's very, very important. The levels you have on the chart are very important. You have the support area, and the break below this 19,647 would indicate that we're in the yellow scenario. Okay, good. I think, what else can I add here? So what else can I add? It's loading. I hope you have some time. Yeah, next week I'll be back home, so I have good internet then, but now I'm traveling a bit, so it's very, very, yeah, I have to work with what I've got here now, so, hello? No, it's there. So, let me do something, okay? If we consider, and I want to just take a look at the Fibonacci time zones, because this is also very important. When we consider that all is done here, and we are already in the primary wave 4 pullback, I'm going to put this here. If we consider we are in the primary wave 4 pullback, then I would suggest that we have to look at the Fibonacci time zones, okay? Because the rule of alternation says that we have to watch the previous degree 4th wave, which would be intermediate wave 4, from the high, or from the high to the low here. This is that sequence here. I want to compare this time-wise, okay? So if I say, for example, let me see, I'm comparing now the previous degree 4th wave and the bottom here. I want to make it as accurate as possible, and the low, the high already is in, if we consider this, okay? So the 4th wave should have normally the same length as the previous wave 4. So that would come into play after the 11th of November 25, and also between the 1382. So this could take a little bit longer, but it should be finished around, and not much more than the two times FIB time. So that would indicate that wave 4 is 2 times longer than this wave 4. Okay, so that's at the moment the scenario. It should end in between. I'm going to tell you exactly. So I have to activate it 1 second. I'm just going to adjust that here. So our wave 4 should end between the 10th of November till the 23rd of September 26th. So it could be, and you know, this wave 4s are very unpredictable, but it could be really that scenario that we're coming down in an A wave, get another B wave. Let me just move that over here. Get another B wave, and then the C wave to come. So it could play out like this, really. It could be a very long correction, and it needs to finish definitely behind the 6th of November 25, preferably, honestly, yeah, maybe 11th of March 26, at the actual circumstances. Okay, if we say that we have built our top here on the 18th of December, and we are already in this primary wave 4 degree pullback, it needs to be an ABC structure, and possibly we are still only in this A wave. Then we should get another B wave and another C wave to finish primary wave 4. And this is the time window where it should end, if this is right in yellow, okay, if we are in the yellow scenario. If the 5th wave extends, the minor 5th extent in this impulse to the upside, which I was talking about, then the timelines also shift to the right, so they shift into the future, because I can only now project FIB times to the actual top. If I say this is the actual top, and our primary wave 3 goes here, and we are already in the primary wave 4 pullback, then these are the time windows for this to finish. So we have definitely a little bit more time to do if this is the yellow scenario. And I just want to bring it on the chart so that you could prepare yourself, either if you're a swing trader or something. That's why I also bring up the intraday Fibonacci, not the intraday Fibonacci resistance areas, which is the yellow scenario, and a break, not a break above it, would indicate that we have a C wave to come. That would then finish our wave A, then we get another B and another C to the downside. And this could be, or could project a little bit more time, as you said, as you see, where I have finished it. And it would be very, very important to watch this support area, resistance area now. It's very, very important. Okay, for those of you who watch my videos, that you know, I would still prefer one more high. Okay, I would still prefer one more high, and the chart would just look better with one more high in an 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. So one more impulse to the upside would be much, much better in my view than a direct sell-off in the yellow scenario. Okay, and we have to see. I mean, we don't have a crystal ball, but we have to see, and we have to put out proportions and possibilities on the chart, and that's very important, that we're gonna see how the price reacts in this resistance area up here. Okay, and that's very, very, very crucial. So it could really be that we get the C wave down. Okay, and yeah, but for now, as long as we are holding the 61.8 FIB retracement level here, it's very important that we hold this and the price doesn't break below it. It's very, very important, okay, to keep the bullish scenario intact in white here. Okay, that's very important. Good. Yeah, I think this is the update for now. You have the supply resistance areas, you have the possibilities in yellow and white, and I think the next days or weeks will tell us a little bit more. Also, one thing again to add, I cannot rule out that we have one more low, okay, one more low in this diagonal pattern. I'm not sure, but it could already be done here. I cannot rule that out. Only a break above the green light would indicate further upside continuation. Then we have the next resistance area on the chart. Then we have to see how the price reacts here. And otherwise we get a sell-off in the C, or the first wave in the impulse of the C of minor 5 would indicate already a break above this resistance areas in my view. We should really take that out. Okay? Okay, ladies and gentlemen. And one thing to add, if you appreciate it, if you like my work already, so please just subscribe to my channel. You would do me a really favor to that, and also like the video. And yeah, we hear us the next week. Have a nice weekend. Bye.